Hello, lovely people. I'm Debs. Welcome back to my channel, Raina Read Stuff. I'm here in the book shack with a confession. It's not a confession. I've been watching a fair few videos over the last few days about TBRs and the volume of unread books that people have. Kelly, I'll link the videos below, but Kelly's was one. Katie Lumsden is doing a TBR challenge this month. Alan at Alan's Reads was talking about the books on his TBR. I thought I'd have a look at mine. Now, bear in mind, I have just finished a Read What You Own challenge, and I read 125 books that I owned. I have bought a couple since finishing that challenge, a couple of ebooks that I saw recommended by other booktubers, but particularly Kelly's video got me thinking about how many books I have that I haven't read. Now, a bit background here. I've been living in Nottingham for almost 7 years. And when I arrived here, I bought with me probably around 100 books. I had offloaded virtually everything I owned because prior to that, my daughters and I had been living in rented accommodation. We were having to move every couple of years, and I just couldn't lug that volume of books around with me. So I arrived here with a minimal number of books. So I thought I'd have a look at what I've actually got. And you can see in the book shack, if I turn you around, this wall here, I got 1, 2, 3, 4.5 bookshelves that are stacked with books. Now, these are mainly, in fact, all of them are either non-fiction or they're classics. I would estimate that of the books along this wall, I have read approximately 25% of them, maybe a few more, but not much more. I certainly haven't read half of them. The other end of the book shack looks like that. That is a bookshelf and a half of general fiction. Haven't read any of them. Or if I have, I haven't read them for many years. I can see Shogun sitting there. I read that in my teens. I haven't read it for many years. Then I thought we'd go inside. So you don't often see inside my very small house, but this is one of the bookshelves in the lounge that entirely contains unread books. There's also more shelves on that. You can only actually see 4 shelves properly on that. There are 6 shelves on that and books balanced on the top. In the corner of the room, we've got another couple of bookshelves. Now, this one only goes down to there, but this one goes all the way down to the floor. I didn't go upstairs. All of those books are unread, all of them. While I was watching some YouTube videos this morning, I thought I would have a look at my ebooks. And I have 3 different apps on this iPad. So to start with, I counted up the books on Google Play, and there are 1,259. There are 473 books on my Kindle, and there are 365 books on Apple Books. However, of the 473 books on Kindle, 138 of those are either complete works or mega packs or multi-volumes. And of those, there are 3 that include 100 novels and 7 that include 50 novels. So that's 650 just with those 10 books. And of the 365 books on my Apple Books, 151 of those are Delphi Classic complete works. So, I mean, I've got no idea how many books are in each individual one of these multi-collections, but if you think that they include the complete works of Shakespeare and complete works of various Russian authors and French authors, etc., I think I'm going to be overly underestimating if I say there's probably an average of 15 books in each. And 15 times 289 multiple book collections brings me to nearly 4,500 books. That's 4,500 books in addition to the 1,259 in Google, in addition to the 350 single books left on Kindle, and in addition to the 220 books left on Apple. And in addition to the probably, I'm going to guesstimate 2,000 books, unread books, in physical form. That gives me a pile of unread books that amounts to about 8,000. Now, I read quickly, but within the best will in the world, I don't read that quickly. So I'm not going to embark on another Read What You Own challenge instantly, because that is stupid and deliberately prescriptive. No, that's not the word. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, it's like self-mutilation, isn't it? What I am going to do, though, is start reading some of these books, particularly the physical ones. Now, I like it. I love the reading events. I absolutely love them. But with the best will in the world, I'm running out of room here. I need to read and offload, particularly physical books. I don't think that there is a reading event I can't continue to do just reading the books that I have. The only ones are the specifically titled books, because I may or may not have those. I'm not going to restrict myself by saying I'm not going to take part in these events because I don't have the books, but I have really got to start getting rid of some of these books. I am not going to get rid of any books that I haven't read before. So I've got to read them and then get rid of them, which is sort of like a Read What You Own challenge. But if there is a book I need to buy for a specific thing that I absolutely can't resist, then I'm going to do it. What this means for me is that my participation in all of these reading events is going to be secondary to my reading the books that I have, because I have more than a public library's worth of them, particularly a small public library. I didn't realise quite how out of hand my book buying was. I mean, bear in mind, I haven't been buying books since the beginning of November. Just think what it would have been like if I had been buying books for the last 5 months. Yeah, five months it took me to do the Read What You Own challenge. But this is out of hand. This is completely and utterly out of control. So I'm going to start reading more of them. I'm going to start doing more mood reading. This is my big channel announcement. This is not me saying I'm not doing any reading events anymore, because obviously I will, because I can't resist them. But I might be a bit creative about what books I choose to read for those events, because I'm going to try very, very hard to put a bigger hole in the unread books that I have. It's not going to happen overnight, obviously, with all of those books to read. But I have books. I have lots of books to choose from. So that's what's going to happen. I've got to start reading more mood reading. More mood reading, I think, is in order. I'm going through my Google Play books today. There's some in there I didn't even realise were there. I will say that some of these books are duplicated. So if I've got a complete collection of things, like, for example, I have a complete collection of George Orwell's novels and essays in 2 different volumes. But also, up here, I've got at least 6 George Orwell books. So there are some duplications. Maybe I don't have 8,000 books on my TBR. But if you say it out loud, it does sound pretty excessive, doesn't it? So there we go. The other thing I've decided to do with my account, only because I can, is I'm going to turn on the monetization. I have no doubt that this is not going to make a huge difference to my life. But I don't really want to. Well, I'm not going to do Patreon or membership or anything like that, because I don't think I have enough to give to justify charging people to watch. And this is not about making money. This is about having fun and chatting to you guys. But if you are forced to watch the adverts in the videos, I might as well earn something from it. So I'm going to do that. It's not going to make a difference to your lives, my lives, or anything else. But I just thought I'd let you know. So that's it. That is my channel announcement. Obviously, more effort is going to be put into events that I co-host, because I feel that level of commitment to those events. But when I did my pile of possibilities for Historathon the other day for Q2, there were 40 odd books. Because I put some in there that didn't fit in with the time period. But there were 40 odd books that did. I'm not short of reading matter for these events. There is no reason for me to go out and buy more books. And also, that does mean that if I don't have the books for Readathon, I'm going to think quite heavily about whether I ought to buy them or whether I ought to read something that I already own. I've got to be more careful about the number of books I'm bringing in here, and particularly with physical books. I need to clear some space. So that's it. What are your thoughts? Let me know. I hope you have a lovely day. I'm hoping to be able to read out in the garden again today. It's a bit cloudy at the moment, but I think it's going to brighten up later. I shall be back at some point this week with one or maybe two more tag videos, because I'm doing quite well at the moment. I'm not that behind. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 outstanding. But there's some of them that are time sensitive, so I feel I ought to do them. Anyway, thanks for popping by. It's lovely to see you, as always. If you have any thoughts, please leave them in the comments below, because I do like a chat. And I will speak to you soon. Bye for now.